Order and welcome everyone. Thanks for being here on this Tuesday, May 14th, 2024 for the City of Canby Bike Ped Committee Citizen
11th.
Advisory. What's that?
11th.
It's June 11th.
I said, oh, I read May 14th. Sorry, June 11th. Yes, and thank you, Cliff. And first off, any adjustments or edits to the minutes?
I suggest you read what you just wrote.
Yes, and I
Then we
will
can-
read what I was just writing here. And I just have to read that last part. Okay, here where it talks about Clackamas County suggestion letter given to Chief Tro. We did do that. We gave him that letter. Or at least I emailed him. So let me read what I wrote. The Clackamas County PBAC submitted a letter regarding bike lanes on, the bike lane on northbound Ivy, south of 13th, to this committee, and our committee agreed with the letter, and Mindy will email it to Jerry Nelsing, Jeff Snyder, and Joe Merrick.
Okay, so it addresses some issues on 13th. I guess I sort of remember you talking
Yeah,
about.
on Ivy,
I mean, Ivy,
yeah.
Improving
South,
signage
south
down
of
by the
13th.
chocolate factory.
Yeah.
Mindy, just an FYI, Jeff Snyder has retired.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, as of
Last month.
last month? Oh, okay, so then I just won't write down Jeff Snyder because I never did hear
Yeah.
from him. Okay.
I'm not sure who is in the new role. I should look into that.
Okay. All right. If that's okay for an edit.
I make a motion that the minutes be approved as amended.
Thank you, Bruce.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Great, thank you. And moving on.
May I bring up something really quick, because it kind of has to do with minutes.
Please.
A couple of meetings ago, we discussed changing the format of the minutes a little bit, and I sent a template. Should I just play around with doing these minutes using that template and see how that works? Okay.
I think that would be wonderful. Thank you. So any new business?
Well, I wrote this. Remember last year we talked about participating in the 4th of July parade, and then it was too late I guess, which is probably about the same as now. But anyway, so I thought I'd just throw that out because we had discussed it last year, and I don't even know if that's feasible, anybody wants to do it. I don't know what the procedure is to.
So I printed out the form. The due date for registration is June 28th, so I think we got like 2 weeks. Because this is a nonprofit community group, it would be free admission or free registration. I mean, the sheet looks fairly straightforward. I could send it around to folks. So I think, getting signed up wouldn't be the hurdle. I think it's up to you all, if the effort to be in the parade is something you all want.
And we might even have a banner.
We need something to identify it. So
Yeah. And who's in town this year for 4th of July?
Not me.
How does the committee feel?
Don't want to commit.
Don't want to commit? No?
Well, then there's no point.
Would you be interested?
I'm not gonna be around.
Okay, well then I guess that's our answer.
You could go and wave the banner.
Well, no, it takes 2 people and it's.
Well, no, we're not gonna do it two
Two
people.
hands.
parade.
But I was thinking we could get.
I just
we could
remembered
get
that, so I thought I'd throw
grandkids
it
to
out.
ride or
Discussion,
something.
so. Now we got three Donnie Downers here, so.
I was thinking it'd be a good way to stir up some.
Well, the only way it
The
would
trouble
be,
with the 4th of July is it's usually a family-oriented day.
Yeah.
And I don't know I don't get to plan the 4th of July,
Yeah.
so,
well, no, what it'll probably would do for me is get me out of going to the Estacada 4th of July parade.
You're trying to get out of the family stuff.
Because I'm sure my granddaughter will want to be in
I'm
that.
sure the city's taking volunteers if you want to volunteer. I'm all of it. We don't have enough time this year, but when Russ brought that up, I don't know if there's enough cyclists that cycle to the event, but I know it's really busy and popular downtown. I don't know, like, sometimes events in Portland, they have like valet bike parking. I don't know if that's maybe something that would be worth considering, where like we have a booth where we valet people's bikes, but that requires materials and stuff. But that could be a way to encourage people to bike to the event.
Oh, it'd be
Offer
so
them-
cool to be able to like give people
Yeah,
prizes
like
or
you-
treats
yeah,
or
and
something for
you
riding
have,
their
like,
bike.
basically, you have a bunch of extra bike racks and park the bikes for people. I'm trying to think of where I've seen it.
Or even having something to hand out.
Yeah.
Reflector
Like,
tape or something.
Yeah, and every number, raffle with the numbers or something. So just,
Yeah.
Cookies.
we got a year now, but something to think about of like, without, separate from the parade, maybe that.
Those are good ideas. Any further discussion on that? Otherwise, we will move forward on the South Abbey Street bike lane letter. And
you just took care of it.
yeah, well, not everyone heard about the results of it.
Oh.
Is that, and I had CC'd you on that. I don't know if you ever saw the conversation, but, sorry.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so anyhow, so I had Jerry Nelsine, Joe Merrick from the county, and Chief Tro on this email, and they, Joe was ready to get on it from Clackamas County, talking to Jerry Nelsine about it, and Jerry's comment was, they don't have enough room to mark it as a bike lane legally. So they can't put up any markers. So it's technically a wide shoulder. Or he didn't say that. He just said we can't.
But then,
The city
what that
can't
means is in that
mark it.
wide shoulder, then people can park.
Mhm.
But, so it's narrower than
Did he indicate,
township?
did he indicate
Is
what,
it, Ivy's gonna be narrower than township? I mean, there's bike lanes on both sides of,
Yeah.
there's parking and bike lanes on township on both sides. Well, there's only parking on one side, but there's bike lanes on both sides and there's one lane each way. And there's a turn lane at Ivy and there's a turn lane at Redwood. So unless, I thought maybe they'd make Ivy wider than,
You're talking about north of 13th, is that right?
South,
north of- between-
northbound on Ivy, south of 13th.
Oh,
So
okay,
across
you're
from
not
Hope
talking, you're
Village,
not talking
like-
from 13th to 99, you're talking
Yeah.
about 13th to the bridge or towards the bridge. Okay,
That's
well
all.
then, scratch that, because
Isn't that all 4 foot?
Seems pretty wide most of the.
Yeah, and you know
most
what?
of
I
the-
would call Jerry on that.
it's really wide now.
I think he's wrong.
Is it 4 feet of pavement?
Yeah.
no,
Cause I think it has to be pavement and not just, if it's 4 feet, like 2 feet pavement, 2 feet gravel,
No, it's
it's
pavement.
pavement.
It's all pavement.
what?
It
The only
does-
place that's not pavement is this side of 13th. It's kind of narrow. Just before Township.
Yeah, but that's not, well,
That's
That's
part of the
not what I was
new
talking about.
expansion of Ivy though, right?
Well, isn't by the chocolate shop a little bit gravel before the curb?
There is, but you still got 4 feet there.
4 feet of pavement?
Yeah.
Well,
Is that what's required? 4 feet?
And that's the other thing, is we should check the requirement
yeah,
and check the width. Because I think he's wrong.
okay.
Those are tough words.
I think he's wrong.
We hope he's wrong and well-intentioned, I'm sure. Let's check.
We call that fact checking.
Bike lane. Okay. There's on the to-do list right there, and
And then with the Ivy improvement coming up, that should all be,
How far
The
does that?
broad, no, it doesn't go that far south.
It's
it
not
goes from the
13th?
13th.
Yes, sorry, yes, but we're talking south of 13th.
Right.
But yes, yes,
But
sorry.
that's off the 13th, I don't think there's a problem.
Oh, I see, okay.
But the problem right currently is this side of 13th, down around Township, or just be, you know,
Oh, I see. But yeah, I think you're right, that the new cross-section for 13th, so from 99 to 13th, the new cross-section will have
Mhm.
bike lanes on both sides, if I remember correctly.
right.
so maybe he's thinking.
Let's
Yeah,
double
so,
check.
Is, okay, do you wanna check on that?
I'll check on that. I'll have it done by the
And maybe
weekend.
take a photo too with your tape measure.
Sure.
That way, you know.
I mean, there's parts of it's wide enough for parking and a bike
I'm
lane.
happy to go out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and what I did fail to mention on that was, when I emailed or forwarded the letter from the county bike ped, I failed to mention the suggested, sidewalks at 15th and 17th on Redwood that was suggested by this committee. And, also, so anyway, I will follow up on that
That's 15th and 17th in Redwood, is that what you said?
at Redwood, because we already
15th and
have,
17th at Redwood.
what's that?
15th and 17th at Redwood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crossing Redwood. They have ADA infrastructure on, and for sidewalks, sidewalks on all 4 corners and ADA.
It just needs striping.
It just needs striping.
I talked to Jerry about that, and I feel that, if I remember correctly, he said that there could be at least one painted crosswalk, if not more, if not both. But maybe
Yeah,
we should follow up
that's-
via email.
Yeah, and it might help him to have
Yes.
correspondence from me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I will follow up on that. And,
And I believe that they are paving Redwood soon, so
Nice.
oh,
it
perfect
would be
time.
done in tandem with that. So it might not happen, in the next 2 months, but I don't remember the timeline for paving, but once
That makes sense.
once paved,
Paving the older section, I assume.
that's my assumption. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, where they put in those developments
North of
on
99.
the east side of Redwood already has room for they already have sidewalks and
Right.
curbs,
Right.
yeah. So, and of course repaved it.
Yeah.
Right.
They probably wanted, I mean, I don't know this, but I wonder if they were holding off on paving until they got some of that built before the heavy trucks went over the new pavement and.
So just to clarify, that you're talking about striping the sidewalks?
Crosswalk.
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 Yes.
Marking the
Marking
crosswalk.
and crosswalk,
Or stripes crosswalk.
crosswalks on Redwood at 15th and 17th.
Okay, 15th and 17th. Okay, thank you.
And Emma, go for the update. Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Bruce, update on Clackamas County.
I did not attend.
Okay,
Did you?
I did not either.
Okay.
We have,
And
Heard
what
your
I have seen in the emails is there's nothing really of interest.
okay, great.
You know, they're still, basically.
Then we can move on to Emma, staff and council update.
I don't have much today. I was gonna mention redwood crosswalks. There is a comp plan, another community summit is what they've been calling the public comp plan meetings coming up on June 20th, which I think is a week.
Baker
is it? Okay,
Prairie
thank you.
at 6 p.m.
I got an email.
You did? Okay, good. Yeah, so that's a week from Thursday.
And I did just send out that email, or I forwarded it
Oh, perfect.
to everyone on the committee.
Yeah, Jamie
and-
sent it out and
What's that?
Jamie
we sent it
Stickle.
out and then you sent it, you forwarded it, yeah.
I have a question, and
Yes,
this kind
Jamie
of,
sent it out, yes.
Yeah, to everybody.
What's
and this kind of covers my section, I guess, at the same time, but if we were to post that, is there a way to post, I'm trying to figure out how to post a flyer, how do I post, like it's a PDF, how would I post a PDF on Facebook? I know it's easy with a link, is there a link somewhere?
Let me poke around. If not, I
Thank
can, I have like Adobe, fancy Adobe, so I can turn a PDF into a
Into a web
JPEG,
link?
or I can turn it into a photo, cause right, you can upload photos.
Yeah.
Can you put PDFs, can't you paste those into, pretty sure you
I'm
can.
not savvy enough.
I don't
I'm pretty sure I've done it.
A PDF?
Maybe not, maybe it's a JPEG.
I've done web links and like pictures, obviously, but,
Yeah, because if it's posted on the city website and we have a.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm wondering is if there's a
That would
Probably a
link.
link somewhere, there should be.
If you go to Cultivating Canby,
Let's see.
maybe,
I can also poke around and email you.
Yeah, if you don't have time right now, you could just, if you can send me
I think
the
I
link,
saw something.
or I can look.
Usually it's on the main page.
And they call it a summit, so it's a
Yes.
summit
mhm.
on 6/20.
Yeah, so there's this little. Here. Not really, what you were.
Yeah, that flyer was nice, if there was something, or if that could be posted on the website, could the flyer be posted on the
Yeah, it should be
website?
able to, I can ask, they don't have it on the thing. Yeah, let me ask around and see what we can get, but it's easy to
Cause I feel like,
share.
yeah,
So
thank you, Emma.
what's interesting in the initial summits that it was suggested the pattern of, you know, where to put residential and this, that, and the other. And it seemed like everyone was in pretty good harmony, the community members that were posting and what they were suggesting. But it's also very different from what the state requires. They require a lot of infill on large lots and limitations, and then there's also some. So it's very interesting because what was really what those suggestions were, like I said, were very harmonious, but then the restrictions that are put on it makes it look very different. And I don't know that there's a lot that anyone can do about it, but the planning commission was discussing that last night. And anyway, so it's really worth keeping an eye on, and just don't be surprised by. It's surprising because you get all this turnout and all these people, and then there's limitations to it that are kind of beyond our control as a city and everything. Yeah, so the staff's worked very hard on trying to get it to, you know, they fought back on some things, but it's a very challenging situation and.
So getting that message out, we hear you, but there might not be anything we can do.
At this point, but you know, it's gonna be a years-long process of, you know, if they're limiting the way you're developing, and you have to do it this way, but they also are tying hands of what you can do, and anyway, they're gonna have to be revisiting it in years to come. It sounds like, and I left before the planning commission was finished discussing it, but it's a challenging thing. And, you know, it just takes,
Yeah, it
it's gonna
sounds
be an interesting
complicated.
process in years to come. So anyway, it was a wonderful turnout by the community in the first summits, but it's worth being in on the process so you're not surprised when it comes along. Would you kind of say that,
Yeah,
Emma?
I agree. I think that, to Mindy's point, yeah, there was a lot of discussions kind of with these one assumptions of we need a lot of land, we need a lot of housing, you know, let's talk about all the areas that we're allowed to grow in because we think we need a lot of land. And unfortunately, kind of that has been pared back pretty far based on state requirements.
Yeah.
And
at
kind
one
of
point it was
legally
0.
defensible
Yeah.
methodology for kind of determining what is available land, and I won't give you all the long planning.
Yeah.
But basically the state, you know, the state's objective is to reduce sprawl to the extent possible, and so they have really restrictive requirements for.
That makes sense. But the plan the people want, was it like going towards great urban sprawl, or was it
No,
pretty,
but kind
like,
of.
not too far from what the?
Not too far, but unfortunately, it's just kind of like, right, policies are good because you have consistency, but it's not always the best fit for every plate, right? You have a policy that applies to the whole state, and yes, it helps a lot of places sprawl. It's just kind of like it's just not working the best with the situations we have in Canby and what's around us. And, you know, we're limited on where we can grow because of the rivers.
Because of the topography and
and,
the
yeah.
resources and stuff like that.
And so, yeah, once you have topography, you increase the price of infrastructure as well. So kind of where we're at is we're not going to be able to kind of continue with the assumptions that we've been having discussed at these earlier meetings. But I think that there was an overwhelming majority of a lot of like, where should we see residential? Where should we see industrial? I think there was a lot of community consensus on that. So even though we can't fully implement that in this go of this type of this project, I think that it will definitely be carried over, because I think you're right, where we'll
Yeah.
probably be revisiting this in less than 20 years. So yeah, at this meeting, it will probably be discussed, and I'm not sure exactly what they're planning to do at this meeting or kind of the exact input they're looking for, but it's a lot less land that they're looking at bringing into the city.
Oh, I see. So this meeting, they're revising what people have to work with as far as when they put down their little pins for where they want.
I believe so. I don't know if we're back at the pin, but it's kind of like, yes, here's what we actually have.
I see.
I think the questions then become like, what does that look like with this kind of new set of, this new scope? I think is what they've been, are planning to discuss. I'm not entirely sure, but.
Does this have much impact on bike ped?
Well, I think so.
Oh, it does.
I think, you know, right, when you're tightening the margins on things, as Mindy talked about, part of how a lot of land got pared back is that the state is really pushing for infill development. Granted, like, the state is pushing that the city has to allow a certain amount of infill. That doesn't mean that development will actually want to do that level. You know, it's not, right, technically, all of you could probably build an ADU in your backyard right now, but, you know, you all don't have ADUs in your backyard right now. So there's the, it's allowed versus it's getting built, but with infill, you're putting more people in a tighter amount of space. Bike ped is, you know, more feasible and a better infrastructure, so I think that helps advocate for better facilities within our kind of current boundary and city limits, not necessarily just kind of in downtown, but also it's gonna kind of, how do I phrase? I think with less land, connecting that land to what's existing can be tricky, and so thinking about like bike and ped access to those is also really important, and not just, oh, you drive up the road and you'll get there, it's fine, but
And I think too, you know, understanding how this density is going to impact
that's a good word.
Our city.
Density, yeah.
and where and how it's probably gonna be playing out. And you'll see kind of the incongruous parts of what we know our town, we're so familiar with it, and then knowing how the constraints that are put on us from the state that we're gonna have to be working with, and how that plays out for our future, and the greater need for outdoor spaces, bike and ped safety, all those things, and how it's gonna play out. So I really think not only is it this comprehensive plan, but we're talking about the transportation safety plan, which I thought was going to be a more independent kind of process and more intense like it was 10 years ago. But it feels like we're kind of getting it all thrown into this process, this cultivating camping process. So it really is pretty important. If any of you can be there on June 20th, I really encourage you to do so. If there's only a Zoom or a online thing, I encourage you to look at it there too and take a good look at some of these attachments, because it's going to impact what this committee recommends in the months to come and years to come. So, and also it's what we're here to advocate for. Yes.
Online about it, because like I'm not gonna be able to make it, but
Yeah.
I assume so, but I am not sure. I'll look into it and I can let you guys know via link. I just want to piggyback on one more thing you said, Mindy, and talking about infill. The other thing to consider is that kind of with this push from infill, which is not necessarily community-led, unfortunately, is that really the only way that infill a lot of times pencils out is losing parking or reducing the amount of parking. And so, you know, thinking about, there's new state law that you can build affordable housing and reduce your parking your minimum parking required without the city has no say in it anymore. It might only be a couple spots, but still, if you build 8 apartments and now you only need 6 parking spots, those are 2 units with relying on street parking or no parking at all. So, how do we, to me, that kind of, would anyone reasonably want to live in Canby without a car? I think it would be really difficult personally, but, thinking about that might kind of become the reality regardless of if we like it or not. And so how can we make that more palatable?
What would increase the importance of bicycle and
Exactly,
pedestrian?
yes, it's no longer a want, it's a
People
need,
can't drive,
yeah.
Exactly. And then also I thought it was very interesting in the PAC meeting earlier this month, they had they were kind of presenting some of these findings like they're going to be doing at this summit. And we were having a discussion as an advisory group, and I was asking about the street funds for paving of the, making sure that the logging road was included for street maintenance. And, I kind of got, Darren Hardy said, no, it's a park. And I was like, well, we're talking about multimodal transportation for increasing density. And this is going to be a way, and I said, it is both, as I understand it.
Isn't it also isn't it an emergency vehicle thing too? So it is actually a street, because if an emergency vehicle can go down there, then it's not limited to being a park or walking or
Excellent
biking,
point.
unless they want to tow them down with a bike or something.
And so the people from the group that is helping the contractors, the fellow who is the transportation guy, I don't know that Don was grasping that I was talking about a multi-use trail considering the logging road. I think he thought I was just talking about a separated bike lane everywhere.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, but I was really trying to get on the street maintenance funds for that anyway. And as an important part of our transportation system, and the safety thing is big. So anyway, the contractor guy, he got it. I'm not sure that Don quite grasped what I was getting at, but it's on the discussion and we need to make sure we follow up on that sort of thing. So anyhow, that's kind of my report on some of that. Anything else to add on that? Okay, so June 20th, anyone and everyone can participate in one form or another. And
Did we get apologies from Councilor Stearns on not being able to attend the meeting tonight?
and I will
This is the
reach
first
out
time he's
to,
missed, I think, isn't it?
I wasn't there last week.
The last week.
although there is the listening session, he has a listening session today, right now at Baker
Same time.
Prairie
That's
regarding
right.
this, yeah.
That's right.
So, he's,
He's probably there.
yeah. And hotspots, I think that kind of goes back to what we've already covered, unless anyone else has an additional hotspot.
I put that, the crosswalk, the redwood crosswalks under hotspots.
And the bike lane out there that we're gonna follow up. Bruce?
Wednesday, Monday, excuse me, on my ride back, and guess what? On Ivy Street, it's been a hot spot, there's always somebody parked there, there's nobody parked there. In front of Pudding Chocolates,
Lovely,
maybe.
lovely,
You wrote on Monday?
lovely. That's encouraging.
No,
Wait, I missed, what was the reason why nobody was parked there?
I don't know, there's just, I noted that there wasn't somebody there.
Well, yeah, you brought
I mean,
it up
it's-
last meeting.
Yeah.
When they,
It's the area
Links
that
are
we
here.
were hoping they'd mark as a
Yeah.
bike lane.
I just said, why don't you talk to them about it? I mean, they're always there, you know, it's,
Oh, is this the Pudding River?
yeah.
Yeah, people, yeah.
And Chief Tro and
Yeah.
it was here and so they heard the discussion and they might have kind of had a conversation, or who knows? So anyway, not on the agenda, but Mike is not re-upping for this committee, and I just want to, I'm sad to hear that, but at the same time, I appreciate the years of service and dedication and insight you've brought to this committee. You're a
Thank you,
big
Mike.
loss.
Well, I've enjoyed all of you, really. It's been great people to be with, so I'm gonna miss that, so.
And I know you're gonna miss taking the minutes.
when's your term out?
End of this month.
Oh, that's because I was gonna say you can take minutes next meeting then.
Well, that's hurrah.
Or come in as a guest,
You know.
a guest citizen minute taker.
So would
Yeah.
you,
Or he could participate and be our lone public member.
that's true,
our public comes.
Yeah.
If you
So
miss us
if
that
you're-
much.
Come say hi.
Tuesday night, first
You never
swing
know.
on
You never know.
in. Or if you ever notice anything,
Well,
you know
sure.
how to reach
Yeah,
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was riding around town, the blackberries are getting just big enough to be creeping into the bike
Mhm.
lanes and stuff now.
Yes.
We gotta call up Jerry and talk to him.
So that'll mean we'll have 2 openings, right?
Yes.
So,
We need to take some
we
action.
haven't, yeah, because I think the last time when we had openings, I think that's when I put something up on cards. And we got, and that's how
And
Jeff got with us, and you did too, didn't you?
no, I
No.
saw the ad in the newspaper
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And a couple other, somebody else, it seems like, we got a number of people that were interested. I don't know if none of them, well, besides Jeff. Oh, you remember, was his name Jeff too? There's so many Jeffs.
Oh,
But he never joined. He came to meetings
Yeah.
for a year or so
yes,
and then,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I can't remember now.
not
Yeah.
Kevin.
Kevin,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah, I think he's got too much stuff.
No, I know,
going
but
on.
he came and he came to meetings pretty regularly, but he said he didn't want to join. And then it kind of dropped off, probably during COVID, I think it, kind of ended.
and then he's been really active, which has been nice, and we do talk every so often and everything, but really active with the Molalla River Watch
Mhm.
and all that.
Yeah, I know that he does that, so.
But it'd be great to, we have 2 seats to fill, and gosh, there was that gentleman that I had really hoped would come. I need to approach him one more time. He had such good input and concern about active
Oh, yeah.
transportation and everything at the first summit, second summit for cultivating canopy, so.
That's actually a good setting to talk to people about this, because you have people there who care and
Yeah, it really is. And sometimes you get a pretty nice, I mean, we've been getting a great cross-section of people, it seems like. It's been great, so.
Well, I know that. Didn't the councilman, he had was it his father-in-law or somebody that he knew he thought would be?
Oh, yes.
But I don't know if anything.
That's right.
happened
there was
with
a
that.
thing through Bridging
Um,
Cultures,
well,
the guy,
yes.
the new director of Bridging Cultures, and I actually talked to him too.
Oh, okay.
And he mentioned like meeting with me at one point. He was gonna set something up, but then I went out of the country, and
Yeah.
I see him every once in a while.
Is this
so I can,
for Cappard,
uh,
Canby area?
no, for
Park and
this.
Recreation.
Oh, okay.
Because I think, I feel like he had been approached because he might know somebody who might be interested in joining this committee.
Yeah.
That's right, it wasn't the councilman, it was the fellow that came that,
Yeah,
can't remember.
yeah. And his wife had been on the committee for a while, and then his father-in-law, her dad, might be interested, so I will reach out
Okay.
and
And we talked about the newspaper, because Britt, you said you had gotten word through the newspaper.
Yeah.
And I got information, but we decided that we had enough leads at the time, but maybe we want to revisit, or,
That
know,
would be
if you,
nice.
if you want to revisit the newspaper, I'm happy to.
Because I kind of feel like people who
Facilitate.
read the newspaper are people who are really interested in what's going
Yeah,
on in the
yeah,
community.
Yeah.
The few of us who still subscribe to the newspaper.
although
pay
now
for the-
Pimplin is sold.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're supposed to, well,
Well, maybe they'll give you a
there's
deal
still
on
a
an
news,
ad.
there's still a, I don't know, that is, because like, we
Is-
have to post, like, the city has to post.
What about
things
the
in
guy that
newspaper.
has that Facebook page,
Oh, yeah, that's
news
true.
Facebook, I can't remember.
Oh,
He's got a,
Oh,
can be news
the,
or something.
I can't think, I know what you're talking about. It's like he does it by himself, right?
Yeah.
He's a one-man show.
oh, yeah.
The Current?
Yeah, can be
Yeah,
current.
Can be current, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
not a
I'd look
bad
at it
idea.
for months, but.
And, yeah, so, but going back to the summit, that might be a really good time to kind of check on some leads too. But, yeah, so we do want to do a,
It's up to
Split
you
it over.
all. I think where we landed is like likely however many words we're gonna, we would use, the city was, you know, it's okay, they were fine to pay it, so.
When I saw it, I think it was
Yeah.
just in the little like announcements section where there's just like a little kind of paragraph and it's talking
Yeah.
about things going on
Oh,
in
interesting.
town. And it was, I think, one of the things on there. It
Mhm.
wasn't an ad, it was more just like listed under the
Yeah.
events type
I think
thing.
you have to pay for those. Maybe? I don't have much experience with these.
I don't know, there's a
But-
lot of nonprofits that
Yeah,
have things
maybe
on
that's
there.
true. Well, I think regardless, I think the cost would be not, you know, I think my thought was similar to what Britt's saying, like a short little blurb that's like a paragraph, you know, do you like biking? Do you care about Canby?
yeah,
Active transportation.
Yeah.
Like the one that, whatever one I saw, it could just be
That's
posted
true.
again.
Let me see
Yeah.
if I can dig through our files and find.
I mean, it was appealing enough for me to apply, right?
It was a good job.
all right. If anything else we need to cover, otherwise, we're kind of through the agenda and our next meeting falls July 9th. Can I just have a show of hands of people who will be in town?
Can I have a slight discussion before?
Sure.
You may not have seen your email from yesterday
Oh.
from Scott Hosher. He's thinking about moving the county meeting to July 9th.
Oh,
So that I think,
yeah.
I feel I missed the last meeting, so I need to
know,
go,
and-
I need to go to the
Yeah.
meeting whatever day he has it on.
You better go to
And,
that. I'll do this.
right, or sometimes you take off a month. So throwing that as an alternative, and I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
okay, I will, if we have it on the 9th, can be bike and bed on the 9th, I will be attending the county if they
Yeah.
move it to the 9th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. And yeah, I was even wondering, do we want to take a month off either this month or next for summer? Or thoughts on that from anyone? Everyone's gonna be in town? Do we keep going?
I'm gonna be in town.
Okay, good. All right, so in that case, July 9th. And our minute taker next time is,
Oh, you want me to? Did you have
I-
that sequence somewhere?
You told me a while ago and I can't find it in my notes.
I know,
Oh.
that's kind of where I end up.
Okay, let's see.
It's not Mike.
I think,
I know, we're gonna have to
well, I
take him
think
out of the sequence.
Mike was May and Russ, were you
Okay.
April?
Yeah.
So it was,
I did it, right.
so
Just
Mike is
wanted to-
typically after me and Cliff is after Mike. So I guess it's Cliff next.
Yeah, you
without
guys,
Mike.
we really need
So
to
I'm-
get 2 more members, so
Yeah.
we've got
So I'm
less.
taking-
No takers.
I'm taking Mike's,
Yeah.
So it's just,
Moving up.
so it's just
So what is
Russ,
the?
me and Cliff. We're the only ones in rotation.
And then
Bruce?
Bruce after Cliff? Or?
Bruce has never had to do it.
I've not been taking minutes.
Oh.
Just- and maybe I will have to.
Okay. So otherwise, we will adjourn, I'll take a motion to adjourn if that's it.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mike.
Second?
And all in favor?
However, this
And-
will end Mike's term here if we
I
adjourn.
know.
So if we don't adjourn, he's still on.
I know.
Yeah.
How many, okay, meeting adjourned. And thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
How many years has it been?
God, at least 10, maybe like
Yeah.
12.
10, wow.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Hey, this is
I was
a
here before Mindy.